welcome to our first Feltaholics tutorial video for our teddy bear baubles. First off, thank you for buying a kit from me. And what you'll receive in the kit is core wool, and this is your base for everything that you're going to make with us. For the core wool, it's core wool or CW. The reason it's in two pieces is just to make it a bit easier for you. The bigger piece will be the body and the smaller piece will be the hat. We'll set that aside. What you'll also receive is red for the hat, black for the face, this light brown or cookie color for the face, and white for the hat. A strip of velveteen for the scarf, green, and a green for the hat to hang it up. What you'll also receive is double the needles. If you bought the kit from me, you'll receive double needles. What you'll receive is 2 fine needles, also called small, which are 40 gauge, and 2 medium felting needles, which are 36 gauge. Now, they come with oil on them to keep them from rusting, so simply take a tissue and wipe them off. You will be working with white and lighter colors, and it will stain your wool. What you'll also receive is a sponge. Sponge is to keep it from poking through into the table and breaking your needle. Your needles will break, and this is why I'm giving you 2 each. So let's get started. First off, take your larger piece of felt, which would be this one, and we're going to make a ball. So I want you to take this and rip it in half. Lay it down, and we're going to roll it. You keep it tight, because the base for all creations when it comes to felting is tight. You might have to practice this a few times. So roll it 6 or 8 times. And if you're happy with that, take your small needle and strike it through the bottom to hold it in place. So then fold the corners over and roll it again about 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And repeat that. And tuck the ends in. Remember to keep it firm and tight. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Score through the middle. When you get to the end, you to felt it down a little bit. Stab all the way through. Stab, not tap. Now it's going to hold in place. Now for needles, especially if you're a beginner, you don't need to stab any deeper than here. The bottom of this are notches or barbs, and each needle has a different purpose. Be careful not to poke yourself. It will hurt and you will bleed. Trust me. Now back to the shape. Once you have this shape done, you can tuck in the ends. Keep your needle straight. Do not bend it. Your needle will break. Switch the ends. Repeat that. You may go over it a few times if you feel a little bit loose. We are going for semi-firm. We are going to make a ball. And we are going to build up from it. This is still soft, semi-soft, not semi-firm. So keep rolling it around until you have a ball shape. And what we were doing by creating this ball is forming the middle of your bear. I'm going to get about this size. Again, take the larger strip and pull it in half. And as you see how mine is, it's a little bit wonky, not quite a circle. So lay your core wool down. At the ends it seems to be flatter, we're going to cover them. Stab that down a couple times and roll it tight again. And again, tuck the ends in. And roll again and roll to the end. Stab it down a few times as you see I'm doing. Watching my fingers, of course. Tuck in the ends. Put it from an angle, circle, circle. This will take you a few minutes. Keep turning it, and it will naturally become rounder as you're turning it. Like we all know up here in Canada, we know how to make a snowball. You can actually smoosh it in your hand and roll it in your hand. If you're still having some problems, you can roll it in your hand, smoosh it, and roll it. And ta-da! Now you can take your last piece from the larger piece and roll it one more time. And again, felt this down into a circle. You can stab all over, forming your circle. Remember, keep moving it around. Don't just stab in one spot. And again, the natural rolling it around as you're stabbing it is forming its own circle or a ball. Well, it'll take you a few minutes to do. Felting is very therapeutic. And of course, feel free to try the larger needle. That's what they're there for. And if you find this works better to felt faster, please go ahead. Each needle has a job, but that doesn't stop you from using the needles however you like on your felt. Keep going, and again, you can roll it in your hand like a snowball or maybe dough. Give it a little smush. Now see, it's still a little bit smushy, so let's felt it for a few more minutes. Let's say 2 minutes. Just go all over it. Smooth it down. Get rid of them bumps. Remember, we want firm. You can pause the video at any time to catch up, because it will take you a few minutes, especially if you're a beginner. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to Feltaholics channel. We'll be on Facebook soon. We'll have more kits and more tutorials in the future. I also look forward to hearing any ideas that you might have about what you would like to make, what you would like to see me make, or perhaps kits you would like me to have. So you can pause at any time, like I said, and catch up. And we'll be back with you in a moment. Welcome to our second video of our teddy bear Bobble. When you have your circle complete, it should be firm but not hard. This is firm. See, a little smooshy, but not something you could use as a tennis ball. So once you have this size, which is about 1.5 inches around, we're going to start to add the color on it. So I'd like you to take your brown and take about, say about 1 inch off of that. And then we're going to lay it down. Remember to control the wool. And if you're finding it still a little fuzzy, just lightly pull it through your hands a little bit. The natural oil in your hands will smooth it down. Nice and smooth. Now start near the bottom, but not directly at the bottom, so it's on the curve. Now with your small felting needle, strike through it a little bit to hold it in place. And I do it this way, so I can see where it's going to be. Now we're not stabbing, we're tapping. Because all we want to do is attach the wool to the outside. And for this, you don't need to go any deeper than the first notch on your needle. And again, control it through your fingers or however you like to do that. For beginners, this is the best way. You can also hold it with your hand. We're just going to tap it through a little bit. And as you're doing this, you'll see it's pushing some of the wool to the bottom. How neat is that? This also sets the pace and the thickness of the wool for the rest of your project. Now, when you have it down, then go with the grain of the I was going to call it fur, of the wool. You can go X's. You can go back and forth, but do not stab in one spot. You'll make that part hard. You see, as it's starting to firm up, you'll be able to feel it. Don't be afraid of the crunch. Remember, don't bend your needle. Keep it straight. Watch your fingers. Did I mention, as a bonus with the needles, you will get an alcohol swab and Band-Aid, just in case, because we all stab ourselves. Even after 5 years of doing this, I still stab myself on occasion. And again, this will take a few minutes to get it smooth. Get all the bumps out of it. And we'll get to the bottom in a second. You're stab back and forth and round. Keep turning it. Don't drag it. Just keep turning it. Lift and turn. The sponges are great for beginners, especially if this is your very first felting kit. I'll show you really quick with the sponge. The sponge is also a great tool which I'll show you in other videos in the future. But for now, you will just keep it as something to felt on. Like I said before, it's just so if your needle goes through, it's not going to break your needle or scratch your surface. And again, this time take about a ½ inch. Go between your fingers again. Now take the end and we're going to start covering at about the same angle on the bottom. And again, strike it through. Oh, wrong needle. Strike it through to hold it in place. And you'll want to go round and round again. And control that wool. And you will repeat that step for the top as well. Take a ½ inch, and for time wise, take about a ½ inch and do the top again. And go around again. Repeat the first steps, moving it up to the front. And just smooth it all down. It's just going to take you about 10 minutes of continuously felting to get this smooth. Remember, you can pause the video at any time. So I'll let you go ahead and do that. And welcome to part 3. I would have loved to have done all of this in a 30-minute video. Unfortunately, there is time restraints. So when you have finished smoothing all the wool down across your ball, mark out where you'd like the nose to be. I think a good spot for nose is here. Please use a pencil. A pencil will rub off, markers don't. So this is where your nose will be, is towards the bottom. So we'll set that aside for 1 minute. Our next step is going to be making the nose. So this smaller piece that you have, take about 2 inches off the bottom and simply pull. So what we're going to do is, like we did for the head, is roll it up, tuck it in, roll it up, tuck it in, roll it up, tuck it in. Remember, if you need to, you can score across it. Roll it up and tuck it in. You'll see it's getting bigger, bigger, bigger. And what you're going to do is make another ball. Just repeat the action for the bigger ball on the smaller scale. Tuck it over. So this is going to be the nose. Mine's getting a little bit away from me there. It's a runny nose. And again, semi-firm. So it'll only take you a couple of minutes to do this. Remember, you're not going to hurt the wool. Just watch your fingers. Always watch your fingers. And again, you could pick it up, smush it, roll it in a ball. And rolling it like in a ball does help felt the fibers together. They interlock. Ta-da. So, and again, semi-firm. Rolling it and moving it. And again, if you need to, roll it in your hand. When it's at the size you want, take it and place the nose like so. Now, going in on an angle, start felting this into your ball. Go in a circle. Yes, you can push down on it. I want you to encircle it, and it won't matter if it gets a little bit out of shape. And you will felt it right on to it. If you find it's getting a little bit out of shape, like mine is doing, just go around a little bit, smooth it back out. Few times like this. This is where you need to stab into the ball all the way up to the end of the needle. So all of it will get stabbed down, mushy, mushy. Let's go around and round and smooth it down again. It should only take you a few minutes. Those ends tucked in. Nice and firm. Around the edges, firmly felt that right in there. Again, give it a little twig. This is what I would like you to do next, is take about a 1/2 inch off of your brown, and again this way, pull this in half. They will pull apart. Pull gently and pull gently again. Now you're going to cover your nose, and I want you to start right into the middle like we did with the head. Felt around and around, and you see just moving right in there. Yes, felt these bits right in. Felt it right in there. Felt the wispy bits right into your bear head. And again, you're going to repeat this until the bear's nose is covered. But you gently tap to cover the nose itself. Again, tap them in. Remember, control the wool. Tap that all in. And again, with the 1/2 inch piece, pull that in half. The bear is on the run. An angle, tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. And again, till your bear nose is covered. Tap all the wool back into the face. I'm sorry. And keep doing that until the bear's nose is covered. Once you have that finished, you can now draw on a nose, eyes, mouth. So let's just make a little across the top here, a little heart. All right, we're going to have to use a marker so you can see what I'm doing here. Good old Sharpie. Make sure it's even. Now add the eyes above it. It's so cute. You can use a ruler to keep your eyes even. Or like this here. I'm just going to use a pencil to draw the bottom of the eyes. Let's be careful with this. It will color your wool. You better get it right the first time. But use a pencil where you can see it. little bit. You can make your eyes round. You can make them little. You can make them big, however you like. However you like. Little, big, however you like. Now I'll show you what it would look like. Quick second when it's finished. Now take some of the black, just a pinch of black and about half of this amount. And you're going to take your fine needle, a little twirling around. I'm going to start with that nose. And we're going to felt that directly into the nose. Wrong needle again. Your fine felting needle. I'm just going to bring that around, control that wool. It's okay that it's a little fuzzy right now, because you're going to felt that right in. And just color it right on in. And you know what, if you don't like it at this point, you could just pull it right off. I'll show you this again. Lay down the line. Make it into a little heart. Just follow that line right in. You're going to do this for the whole thing. Control that wool. Give it a little twist. Little poke. These will be firm taps when you want to attach it permanently. Again, just a smidgen, a little twirl, and you'll do this for the eyes, the nose, the mouth. We're going to do the nose. A little twirl again. Expression is so very important for our little critters. Give them a thin mouth, a thick mouth, whatever you like. For this guy, I wanted to give him a bit more of a bubbly nose. So we'll just repeat the process. Big nose, fat nose, skinny nose, brown nose. I just prefer this nose. And again, for the eyes, I know these eyes are uneven, but we're about to fix that. And again, Start with this bigger eye. Now what we're going to do is jump ahead a little bit. Time constraints always. To know that I have halfway done here. Follow that line all the way around and repeat, repeat, repeat. So all in all, this guy should take you 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how quick you are. And not everyone is going to be exactly the same. I want to jump ahead again here to our next bear. Okay, so next what I'd like you to just take a pinch of the white that we have here, just a tiny, tiny pinch. I don't know if you can see how wispy that is. There, white. Just pull a little bit off. Right in the corner of his eye, or her eye, whatever you want it to be. A little twist and poke it right in there. Working with this head. There we go. Needs a bit more? Go ahead and put on a little bit more. Repeat that process. Just remember, if you stab too much, it's going to suck right inside. Just disappear into the bear head. And ta-da. Okay, set your bear head aside. And our next step will be the hat. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to make a cone shape. And this is going to be the hat for the bear. Let's just put him right there. Now, a cone shape you think would be easy. It's a roll, but I want you to roll. This way, I want you to do what I was doing. Smooth it out and flatten it out some, but make sure smaller end. So a cone shape is a few rolls till you have your shape, much like this to the balls or the circles we started. Now you're going to tightly roll it on an angle after that. Roll, 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 I would say. Sorry, 6 times. Flatten it, smush it. Now fold this all over and roll. You can keep it loose for the moment. Ta-da. So you have your cone shape. do what I did, score it through a few times to keep it in place. Now, this little hat is going to go right here. So you want to make sure that this part is about an inch around, because it's going to go right on his head. So what we're going to do is we're going to shape the end, this end, the pointy end, into a loose point, like a cone. And yes, we're going to do this before we firm the rest of it up. Oh, got a loose bit. There we go. Do that for a few minutes. Form it with your fingers if you like. Just remember, watch your fingers. I know you have band-aids, but please watch your fingers. Don't be afraid of the crunch. Remember, please keep your needle straight. Get to the cone shape. Excuse me. At the end. Yep. This is what you'll have. Now, start felting. Poke, 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 not stabs. Poke, 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 pokes. You're compressing the wool now. It's all of a sudden it's going to be smaller. Smush. Smush, smush. Smush. Roll. Smush. This will help keep the shape. Now, when you get it like this here, of course, roll it a few times because we like to roll. Turn it to the end. Now, I only want you to stab around the middle a few times. Just a little bit. We will need the outside of this. This is going to be his little hat. We need the outside of this here to stay unfelted for just a few minutes more. Get that cone shape. If you're not a beginner, excuse me again, and you have another way to make a hat, please feel free to do so. Now, it's still a little smushy, but that is okay. Take a 1/4 inch of your red, and again, smush it out. Start at the top, roll it, now you can do a bit more briskful taps, because this is also going to harden the underneath piece. I know it's coming off there, but don't worry about that for the moment. There is a reason for that. Keeping that cone shape. This part will probably be the most difficult part for this entire bear. Keep rolling it and firmly tapping it, but don't stab it. You can do it this way. after a few rounds. And again, a 1/2 inch, smooth it out, go around, repeat that until you're at the bottom. What I do, turn it as you go. You can take your time. This isn't a race. I'm on a time restraint. You're not. So you can take your time. I'm going to felt it all over. And tapping briskly. Still okay if it's a bit loose. Still okay. You can make it up at the end. And again, 1/2 inch and round. Go it through and tap it, tap. Don't bring it any further than where I am with the unfelted bottom. Do not felt it into a straw. Excuse me, do not felt it into a straw. It's still a little bit smooshy at this point. It's supposed to be. We're learning some techniques as we go along. I want you to felt that for a few more minutes. Yes. Did not forget about the other end. Still just hanging on there. Still just hanging on there. Now once you have smoothed the end out, then you come back and we'll see what we're going to do with this piece and this piece. Now when you have finished smoothing, you can give it a little bit of a roll to smooth it up. That's the thing that you would like to do. If you find it easier to smooth it. Don't push too hard. Now, see, it's starting to look like something. So, give this a little bit of a twirl, put your needle, just a little twirl, gather it all up. And now you can poke the very top of it, bring it together into the top. Bring it into the top. All these little loose bits into the top, into the top. And you can start to smooth it all out. Right into the top, into the top. I do have a piece of white there. I can see it's very, very small. Let me get my tweezers and pull that out. It's very faint hair. So I'm stabbing downward as we're going round and around. And I'm working my way up as we do it. These are medium taps. Now when we get to the very end again, I can do a bit of a cone shape. Smooth these edges down around and make them nice and even. Oh, why did we not just go ahead and tap this very end into it with the rest of it? Well, there's a reason for that. Because this very top here still needs to be semi-felted, not semi-firm, or excuse me, semi-soft, not semi-firm like the rest of this. Give this a little squeeze. Now take a bit of your white, maybe about 1/4 of an inch, and you can wrap this around your finger. And all fingers are different sizes, but for this, it doesn't matter. Roll this up. Oh, you can roll this right in between your fingers. Again, score through it. Yeah. See, just about poked myself. And this will become the little tiny puff ball or pom-pom at the end of your hat. Keep working it back and forth and round like you did with this circle. The difference is this is not core wool. It'll take it just a little tiny bit more effort, which is good for the beginners as you're learning a new technique. Make it long, big, tiny. So the more you felt it, the smaller it will get. I'll get felt mine right into the mat, pull it off. Of course, you can also do that with your white sponge. Or of course, you could make yourself a little tiny ball if you have any core wool left. I just color it with the wool like we did with the nose. Again, you could just roll it, roll it, roll it. Ta-da. Now we're going to attach it at the end. Get going in on an angle. Carefully, carefully. You want to stab into the top of the hat. You can make it a bit flat if you like, however you want it. Of course, go through the top a few times to make sure it's felted in there. You can go through the bottom of the two corbini. Don't go all the way through, it will bleed. The red will bleed into the white. Of course, you don't have to do your pom-pom at the top of the head this way. You can make a little ball and stick it on. And you can reform it. Wool is very versatile. And you're not going to hurt this. This is just a little hat for our bear. Now, this is adorable. We're going to place the hat on the bear. So, as we're placing the hat on the bear, so we're just going to stab right into it. Your large needle will help. Just do it around the very base of the red. And you won't have to do it firmly. The crunch, crunch, crunch is all good. So you put it in there on an angle. And you will have to go again to the end of the barbs. But you have it all down there. Just around. We want this left alone for the moment. Now we're going to take about an inch of white. Again, smooth it down. And we're going to encircle half of the hat to fit his little head. Half. About half. What we want to do is push the white wool up, forming the hat in a little circle. For the reason why I'm going to do half, I will show you in just 1 second. I continue to build this up on the front for a few more. Now, you have a choice to make. You can put it off to the side, one side or the other. You could put this at the front, which means you will build up the back. But I would like his hat back and off to the side. So now we are going to build up the back. I'm going to smooth that out. Go round. Controlling that wool again and around. And around. I'm going to tap this down. Again, don't be afraid of that crunch. Keep this even around the top. And if you get filling it out, just push that right back down. Fill that right back down. Control all of that wool with your fingers. But again, as I keep saying, watch your fingers. Make this even. Don't forget, we have ears to put on yet. Don't forget about the ears if you want to put ears on. If you don't, go further down with this white wool. Keep it even. So it looks like a little hat. what I'm going to do is back and off to the side a little bit. That's a very good spot. Hold it, take your large needle and felt right into it. You could puff it up and it'll stay there. And now this is why we kept it semi-firm. Felt it right into the back of the bear's head or wherever you have positioned the hat. Go ahead and felt that smooth. Don't make it flat. And keep the fold there. Go ahead and felt that smooth. Get all those bumps out. Yeah, the white will bleed into the red and so on and so forth. Go right ahead on and put the brim on. Remember, keep the ears in mind. So let's do the ears now, and I'll show you how to do those. And we'll finish the hat. So you want to take 1/4 of an inch. I want you to take it and then pull it in half this way. Because if you pull it this way, it's not going to come out. So you just gently pull and you see how it comes apart. For the ears, you will take half of it and fold it in half. And again, everybody's fingers is different. We'll lay it on the mat or your sponge. And this is how a sponge is fantastic for being a tool. I'll take your fine needle, score through the bottom, and you're going to work your way around in a semicircle. Yes, yeah, flatten this down. Make it in a semicircle. You're going to do this twice. So you made another ear. Fold the bottom over, keep it in a semicircle. Flatten that down. This way you can make a big ear, a small ear, whatever kind of ear you want. Pull it up, fold it over. You're going to tap that lightly. Now, if you have finger guards, it's good to use for finger guards. But if you don't, I'm going to show you a little trick. In the felting kits, you will have a business card and a thank you card. So I'm going to have you place this ear between the two cards. You're going to take your fine felting needle, and be very careful, and tap this down. And you're going to work it all around. You're saving your fingers. And you're going to do this twice, one for each ear. Once you go ahead and do that, and we'll come right back. Once you have the ears finished, you can place them where you like. So you can, I think I will place mine here. Fold them over. Pat them down the back. Fold them over. Fold it so slightly and tap them in. from the back. Tap them down. Fold them a little bit. Tap them down. Oh, and of course, you can go ahead and use a bit more white to fill that in. If you like. Look at that. That's adorable. Remember, keep the line even. Line even. Back, tap it down, tap, tap, tap. Keeping that white line even. Have a high line like I have, a low line. Just tap, tap, tap. Keep it smooth, smooth, smooth. Okay, you can fold that back over and off to the side. Tap, tap, tap. And of course you can keep smoothing this all out. Nextly is our little scarf, and I'm going to show you how to just wrap that. You can even maybe put a little knot in it if you like, a little knot at the end. So what we're going to do, give an idea of where we want to wrap it. Pull it over wherever you like. And it is stretchy. So I would like mine to be right about here. And yes, even with the velveteen, tap, tap, tap. We're just going to make a line right through it. Sorry, get my fingers out of the way. We're just going to do this all the way around. Now, I don't like using glues on my felt, but you can go right ahead and use glue if you find that is easier for you. See, however you like it. I'll give you a minute to go ahead and felt that on. And once you have the scarf felted on, simply take your ribbon, make a little half bow. You can put this, oh, he's come loose, it's okay. Just make sure that that hat doesn't get away again. What I like to do is I like to put this at the back on an angle, and of course you could tuck it under here. could tuck it under here. He's hanging, but see, that doesn't look very nice. Just felt his hat back on. Of course, fold it. You can tack it right back here to the back of his, right back here. Now, this, of course, again, you could use glue, whatever you like. See, as it's folding, you can fold it. Reinforce it. And it will stay. If you're not comfortable, you have a smidgen of a, little smidgen of a cookie color. You could just put right on top of that. Right on top of that. Just go ahead and felt that right on. And go ahead and cover that right up as you're felting. Pesky little hat that we've got. And voila! Your cute little bear is done. Congratulations. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. And drop me a comment below and what you'd like to see. Next time we are going to be doing the gnome place like home for the holidays gnome, which will be a candy cane gnome. You're all going to love it. And that will be November the 8th. Wednesday, November the 8th. Thanks very much for tuning in. And again, thank you for buying the kits from Feltaholics. And we'll see you next time.